your mind this evening? What kind of day have you had? So today's mindset card is I'm a trailblazer in the digital frontier, paving the way for others to follow in my/our prosperous footsteps. So, what are you thinking about? Have you been thinking as a trailblazer? Have you allowed the day to get away from you and have several things just crowd your mind? If that's the case, we ask you to take a breath and think of yourself as a trailblazer because we are talking about the digital frontier. Our guest tonight is Michael Nieves. Michael is a lifelong tech enthusiast. From dismantling gadgets as a child to mastering online platforms, Michael's curiosity has always fueled his innovation. As a higher education changemaker, he found his true calling in education, using tech to make learning more inclusive and impactful. Michael specializes in assistive technology, instructional design, and engaging educational multimedia as a creative content developer. He specializes and is passionate about purpose over profit. He talks about leveraging technology not just for progress, but for purpose and access. And as a visionary for the future, Michael believes digital tools can transform learning into a meaningful and empowering experience for all. Without further ado, I'm going to ask Michael to step up to the stage and talk about the wonderful tools that he has in his toolkit. Come on, Michael.
All right, thank you everyone for having me tonight. So in tonight's episode, I want to share two powerful tools I think might be helpful for all of us, whether you're an educator, whether you're an entrepreneur, or whether you just want to utilize these tools in your own personal creativity platforms. So there's two main tools that we're going to talk about. We're going to primarily talk about one of them, and then the second part of it, I just want to give a brief shout out to another tool that you may find interesting. So I'm going to share my screen quickly, and then we'll get started. Okay, so the first tool that we're taking a look at is a tool called Padlet. So what Padlet is, think of this as an online platform where you can collaborate with others, you can create like meaningful discussion boards, you can have interactive learning materials, and so forth. So it's a free platform to start with. I'm using a free version in this demonstration. The free version allows me to create 3 different Padlets. So the first time that you sign up for an event, your page might look similar to mine's. It may have a little bit less things. I've been using mine for a couple of years now. But the main thing that you want to do after sign up for an account is that you want to look over to right here where it says make a Padlet. For your first time, it may say create a Padlet. So I'm going to go ahead and click that real quick. And as soon as we click that, it gives us a lot of different options for us. So these are all pre-generated templates that we can use. So let's say, for example, you want to create more of an interactive discussion board. You can use this template. You want to leverage this platform to help you create a lesson plan, class activities, timelines, or even like maps. You could do that too. So in our specific case, we want to use a custom board. So it was brought to my attention by Dr. Eve that this month is Mental and Financial Wellness Month. So I thought it might be a great idea for us to create an activity similar to those themes. So in our case, we're going to go ahead and click Custom Board. And the first thing that we notice right here, it says I am. So for me, since I've used it before, this is pre-populated for me, where it says I am an educator, and it says I want to create. So in that I want to create, you're basically giving the AI a quick prompt of what you want to create. So I have my prompt already pre-generated for me beforehand that I've prepared for us to make things a little bit smoother. And basically what my prompt says, I want to create a daily check-in for participants to share on a scale of 1 through 5 how they are feeling about their mental and financial wellness. Additionally, they can share one thing they recently found exciting. Include one post as an example, along with resources to improve financial and mental wellness. So after we're happy with our prompt, what we can do is pretty easy, and we're going to press create. So this part may take a quick minute or two. Now, as a quick disclaimer, while we're waiting for this portion, if you would like to interact with this next part of the segment, then have your phones prepared using the QR code function, or you can follow the link that I'll share in a few minutes after this Padlet has been created. Awesome. So quickly, it began creating a smaller interactive platform for us. We'll give it a couple of seconds to load everything in and so forth. And then awesome. So right now, we notice that it created 3 different categories for us. Example check-in, and mental wellness resources, and financial wellness resources. So let's say you're having this in the classroom and you want to create like a bulletin board for students to check in how they're feeling, or participants from a different workshop, or anyone. So they would go in right here, see the example check-in, and it generated an example for us, the AI. Miss Johnson's check-in right here. Mental wellness, 4 to 5, feeling pretty good today. My morning meditation really helped start the day right. She also shared her financial wellness, 3 out of 5, and some exciting news for this past week. And then right here on the left side, or the right side, I mean, we see mental wellness resources and financial wellness resources. So now we can begin to see how the AI began curating some content for us that we can look through based on that prompt that we gave it. So now the next portion, let's say you want to share this with other people and you want to be able to contribute to this. So I'll show you quickly how to contribute to it, and then I'll share the link with all of you so you could try it yourself, so you could contribute to this discussion board right here. So on your screen, whether you're on a PC, whether you're on Mac, or if you could also use this on your mobile device, you'll find the little icon towards the bottom that has a little plus. And on top, you'll see write something incredible. So for in my case, I'm going to do a mental wellness, and I'm going to say 4 to 5 for me. So I'm tired from my workday, but I'm still feeling pretty awesome. Feeling awesome. So I'll put that as my quick check-in. So when you're checking in real quick, one thing to make note of is right here where it says financial wellness resource. You want to click that, and you want where it says section right here, we want to make sure to check example check-in, because that's where we want our post to pop in. If you're on a mobile device, this may appear on top instead of the bottom. So double check that. And then once we're happy with that, we could either click publish. On your side, it may say submit instead. So I'm going to click that, and then we'll instantly notice that it pops up right there at the bottom. So now, if you would like to give it a try, I could share the link with you. So to share it's pretty easily. There's 2 different ways to share. So the first way, if you would like to share, if you would like to try this on your desktop, I'm going to share the link in the chat. And if it's easier for you to try it out on your phone instead, there's a QR code. I'll leave it up for a quick minute that you can scan. And then as soon as you scan it, you should be able to see the platform tool on your phone. So I'll follow along with you. So I'm doing this on my phone. So I'll scan the QR code. And then for me, you can also see exactly everything that I mentioned before, what we're showing on screen. And then you can also see it right here. Now, if you're on the mobile device, you'll see at the bottom hand side, you'll see that little plus icon. You can click the plus icon, and then you can write whatever you want from it. So in this case, we're just doing a quick mental check-in, mental wellness check-in. How's everybody feeling today? And then once you're happy with what you wrote, you could click submit real quick. So I'll give everyone a quick minute if you would like to do that. And then awesome. So I see some people already began posting some things. Awesome. Some people worked out today, exhausted, but feeling amazing. Some people feeling darn good. We love that a lot. So let's say, for example, you had somebody posted something and they accidentally posted it on the wrong side. So that's a really easy fix. So let's say I've shared something and I wanted to share in the other column instead. It's extremely easy to fix that. So let's take this hello post right here, and all we have to do is drag and drop it. And then we notice that it pops up on the post. Now, if you're looking on your mobile device or your desktop, you notice that as soon as I made that change, that synced almost immediately, and you can see that change reflected. So I'll go ahead and move that back quickly over to the correct spot. And then awesome. So thank you everybody for giving that a try. But now the next portion, I want to show some other use cases that you can use this platform for. So I'm going to go back to the main menu. And now let's say we want to create something a little bit more catered to learning resources, not so much like a collaborative mode, but a resource hub and to share information and whatnot. So I'm going to do the same thing I did before. I'm going to press make a Padlet. And now in our case, we're going to choose custom board because we want to choose something that's catered to today's theme. So I'm going to copy paste my second prompt. And then awesome. So for my second prompt, it says I want to create a 10-step guide or a 10-step timeline to guide individuals in identifying the key steps to achieving financial stability and wellness. So once we're happy with that, we're going to go ahead and press create. And it'll give it a couple of minutes in the background again. So now since this is using AI, just as a small little note, make sure to always double check the resource that is pulling, make sure that the facts are completely accurate and are relevant to what you're trying to do. Usually if you're prompting it to do something more complex, this portion may take a little bit longer. Usually in our case, it should really take more than 30 seconds tops. So give that a couple of seconds. And then awesome, just like that, it began curating a few pieces of content based on our prompt. So our prompt is based around financial stability and wellness. So what it did for us is that it created it in a few different segments. So the first segment that it created for us was foundational steps. It gave us step 1, step 2, and step 3. We could go ahead and click into it. We could see some of the images that it shared with us. That's one image. We could see a second image that may be relevant to our specific topic and so forth. And then we could begin scrolling down. So now we can see debt management for step 4, step 5. We can see growth protection that a curated content for us for step 6 and 7. And we can continue scrolling down all the way to step 10. So if you remember from prompt specifically, we asked the AI to create 10 steps for us. So that's the exact amount of steps that was given to us. So now let's say you love this content, you went ahead and reviewed everything and you think it's great right here. So let's say you want to take this on a road and you want to share this with other people right quickly, or you want to have this more more in like a presentation format. It's extremely easy to share in presentation format by going to the right-hand side. And then you'll see a little triangle right here, and you could click that. It'll prompt you to open a slideshow. So I'll click that. And then in a couple of seconds, it'll begin to have almost like a PowerPoint deck for us based on that content right there. And you notice that there's also a QR code right here if you would like to share that with people easily. If you don't want to share, they could easily toggle that off too. And then as we scroll over to the pages, we notice that took the foundational steps. It organized us into a presentation for us. And we did this all just in a matter of seconds, extremely easy. So now if you're using this, all you would have to do is go ahead, look at it, make sure everything that it's curating for us is correct and is relevant for us. Same thing with the images. The images are pretty high quality in most cases. So we can just go ahead, give it a quick scroll, make sure we're happy with the way it looks and so forth. So skip over all the way to number 10. And it looks like it did an amazing job for us in extremely easy format. So now let's say you love this and you also want to be able to share this with other people. So it's really easy to share, like I mentioned before. If you want to share this, you could quickly share it. You can share it through the link right here. Or if you have a blog or website set up, there's even an option to embed it onto your website right here, just by clicking embed into your blog or website. And then right here, you have all the iframe details right there. So like, let's say if you're using this in a classroom setting, or if you have a website set up, you don't want people leaving your main website. So you can have this directly onto there without having an external link. So it makes it a lot easier to share on one uniform place. So that's another format that we can use. Now, there's one more thing I wanted to show as one more use case for this. And this is one that's already been pre-generated for me. So right here, let's say you want to leverage this as a learning resource, like let's say for students, for example, where you want to show more of like a geographic map and have that type of interactions. So right here, this is something I found that was already available on the website that our professor created. So I was able to view that as an example. So I'm gonna click that. And basically what this is, it's just an interactive map. So let's say you could use this for if you want to know about where all the cryptocurrency, what the top countries are for cryptocurrencies, if you want to use this for like historical events and whatnot. The sky's the limit of how you want to use this, completely up to you. But as you click on it, you can begin to see all the resources that are curated for us and some amazing images with it too. And what's really great about it is that if you share this with other people, if you remember the first time you log on to it and did it on your phone, it did not ask you for your name. It did not ask you to sign up for an account. So if you would like this to be completely anonymous by default, it is anonymous when people share this. Now, if you don't want it to be anonymous and you're using this more in a classroom setting, it's pretty easy to change. You just go over to the settings, and one of the features allows us to change that. And I think they moved it as in the last 24 hours. So I may need to double check that, but there is a setting that allows us to show people's names and show people's timestamps if you would like that. By default, everyone that posts things is completely anonymous. So this is Palette. You can use this for learning resources, you can use this for presentations, or if you even want for like personal reasons, let's say you're using this for a project management tool, you can easily create a palette to help you like organize your day by like having to-do lists. You can create like progress, complete it, and so forth, and you can share this with your team to help your time management. Now, the next thing that we're going to take a brief look at is called Perusal. So I know we don't have a lot of time, but I thought that this might be a resource that's extremely helpful to at least share and spotlight real quick. So what Perusal is that this is a social annotation platform. So right now, if you're in the K to 12 or if you're in higher education, or if you're even an educator of any format, you may notice that in today's day and age, more and more students are leveraging AI to essentially give them quick overviews of the readings, quick overview of articles, and so forth. And you may notice that less students are beginning to read the actual source material. So us as educators, we want to encourage students to try to read the source material because there is some importance to it to reading the actual material as opposed to a paraphrase version of it. So what Perusal does is that it aims to house these original materials and it aims to curate them so students can either commentate on it and share their experiences on it. So let's say right here, I have an old article from Mayor de Blasio talking about the problems with fare evasion right here. So let's say I assign this to a group of students in my classroom, and then I gave a couple directions on what I expect for students to annotate and what are some key things that I want students to look at. Like let's say right here, I'm a student, I'm looking at this, I'm going to highlight this right here. And then based on this, I'm going to share my own personal experiences, my own personal thoughts based on the instructions that was provided from my instructor. And what ends up happening is that the more students begin to add to this, the more they begin to share their experiences, the more you'll see this current conversation get bigger and bigger. So you have students that are encouraged to read the original source material, and this is one way that you can assess that they're actually reading it, as opposed to just having a quick summary using AI. So I know I said a lot of information, and I'm hoping that all of this was useful to you. I advise you or recommend for you to check out both platforms. Both platforms are free to start up. For for Palace specifically, the free version has 3. If you want other plans, these are the current prices: $9 a month for 20 and $15 a month for unlimited palettes. So I hope you found this useful. And yeah, open up to questions if anybody has any questions.
Yes, I had a question, Michael. What if you wanted to create an ebook? Would this be helpful for doing that? The
Oh, that's
Padlet.
interesting. Yeah, I haven't tried it for ebook. I would absolutely recommend you try it. And now, usually when you're creating palettes, it doesn't give you an extensive amount of content to fill up an entire book, but it might help you at least identify key ideas and organize in a fashion that you want. So it might be a really good, powerful tool for brainstorming.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Do we have any other questions?
Actually, it's more. Oops, sorry. It's a statement. It seems like this also could be a tool that could be used to try to support those with disabilities, because now you're engaging them visually. They're being creative, so they're tapping into sensory. So I feel like this could be a tool to really tap on learning skills as well.
Yeah, it's a great tool for things like that because you're curating content and you're not just asking students to just read specifically. Then it's also like accompanied by some visualization, so it helps in that aspect also.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for taking the time to break this down to us.
Thank you for having me here to this evening.
This has been really great. I did use Padlet a bit this season in my Spanish course, but nowhere to the degree of what you described. So I'll be ready for that next season. How easy was it for your students to adapt to these that you showed us, these apps?
Yeah, I think it's pretty easy. Usually, in most cases, when we're creating courses, we leverage Padlet specifically for like icebreakers. Where like the first week we say like, "Hey, share a bit of our experiences, share you why you're here and whatnot." And I think having that experience of them using it in a casual format gives them confidence, so they could use it for later assessments and whatnot. Same thing for the other platform, Perusal. Perusa has a great guide to support students on how to start up, so they're not just looking at it and then they're wondering like, what do they do? It has a lot of resources and tutorials to support students.
And have you tried this with adults?
Yeah, so I'm mostly use it for higher education, and I've been using it a lot for graduate classes too. So like in the graduate classes, they're primarily adults in most cases.
Okay. And did they adapt quickly as well?
Yeah, I
Because
haven't had any issues with adaptability and confusion. Maybe peruse a little bit, but I think training students and giving them support actually helps them build that confidence.
okay, all right, thank you. And the reason I ask that is because sometimes, or the theory is that it takes older adults a lot longer to adapt to new applications. And sometimes it doesn't. If, for instance, we have some trailblazers in our community, and if you give them an app, they're off and running with it. And I saw in the chat that not that Shayna is an older adult, but she said, I'm a trailblazer and I'm claiming it. So I know that by next week, she'll be bringing it back, one of those back to us. And thank you, Shayna. Do
Yeah,
we have any
absolutely
other?
recommend it.
Okay. Do we have any other questions or comments before we move on? Okay, well, Michael, thank you. Stick around. Somebody might have something else to say. So, what's next for Disruptor DAO? Wellness Wednesdays, 7:30 p.m., and there's the link. By now, you all are familiar with that. Next Wednesday is our season 3 finale. The topic, Beyond the Panic, the Future of Finance. People have been in an uproar, especially with this current administration. Things are being canceled left, right, and center. People are being let go from their jobs. Many people do not know where to turn. So our 3 organizations, BK Crypto, ourselves, Disruptor DAO, the ARIA Foundation, and Journey to Wealth, will discuss the future of finance so we can get a hold on ourselves if we have run away with the news media that we are constantly consuming. So please be here for that. And that finale will lead into our town hall meeting. But before I talk about the town hall meeting, I'd like you to view our replays. We have a playlist and we have lives on our YouTube channel. You can click on the QR code. You can take a photo of the QR code. But at YouTube, we are at Disruptor DAO. That's how you will find us. And we are posting more and more content continuously. So moving right along, our town hall meeting. And actually, our town hall meeting is a strong continuation of our season 3 finale. Please save the date. The date is June the 18th. The town hall meeting is from 6:30 to 8 p.m. and it is virtual. And our registration link is coming soon, so we do hope to see you. The town hall is the United State of crypto, not the United States, but the United State of crypto. Crypto is something else that people are in a panic about. Many people use cryptocurrency, they trade it, they've bought it, but sometimes they don't always know what they're doing. And when the prices go up and down, similarly to the stock market, it brings a lot of emotion. So our town hall meeting is also going to talk about US regulations and cryptocurrency, real use cases, but also how important it is to not just be a consumer of cryptocurrency and of stocks. Not just to be a consumer of companies, but to actually buy them. By buying them, your finances will grow over time and you will be a part of the legacy of wealth building. Think about Apple, think about Costco. many years ago. Those stocks were $2. Look at where they are now, in the 200s of dollars. The same has been happening with cryptocurrency. But we want to find out exactly what we're buying, what we're getting into, and how to avoid the pitfalls, and how to avoid things like we look up and our money is no longer there. So please join us at our town hall meeting. So, as I said before, we'll be discussing a number of things. In the chat and on the screen is our link to a few questions to begin you in the conversation, if this is not your conversation. For example, do you trust how money works today? A fact is 65% of Americans feel that our financial system favors the rich. Once again, we have many, many people who have no idea what to do with their 401ks, their Roths. They don't know where their money is being invested. They don't even know what their return on investment is. Question 2, what frustrates you about the financial system? Fact, 40 million plus Americans have traded crypto. Once again, many feel that they are confused about how it works. Sometimes our friends and our families have us join things, have us put our money in things, and we have no idea what's going on. When it goes up, we're happy. When it goes down, we're panicking. And question 3, how do you define financial freedom? Fact, digital currencies are being explored in over 100 countries. So we'd like you to go to the link and answer those questions honestly. And it is an anonymous poll. Lastly, but not least, join our Telegram chat. This is where we just explore many topics related to finance, to cryptocurrency, and on and on. And if you're a part of our community, you can post things that are happening with you as well. You have a business, post your information about what's happening with your business. Link us, bit.ly/disruptor tribe in capital letters, or take a photo. I mentioned our mindset products. I did show our affirmation deck. Many of us pull a card daily, and we journal in our affirmation journals. Those products are fabulous. We created them just for you using our purple branding colors. So we would love for you to buy a set for yourself or buy a set as a gift for someone else. So that is it for the evening. We thank you for being here with us. We thank Michael for being here with us. I'm just going to check the chat really quickly to see if we have any more questions or comments. Okay, thanks for the information and platform shared. I can't wait for the season finale and the town hall. Thank you. For those heading out, we say thank you and have a fabulous and safe evening. And people are looking forward to the town hall meetings. I definitely got that. So once again, thank you and bye. We'll see you next week.
Thank you, Michael.
Take care, everyone.
Thank you,
Bye,
everyone,
Michael.
for being here. Thank you. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Michael, before you leave, if you could just stay put for one moment.
Yep, I'll be here.
All right. Have a good evening, folks.